The first time my apartment spoke, it used my own voice. It said my name from inside the closet while I was standing across the room. I told myself it was a neighbor through the vents, or a half-dream left over from moving day exhaustion. I'd been hauling boxes up 3 flights in late August heat, sweating through my shirt, and the building was old enough to have its own smell. Damp wood, dust, old paint, and something faintly sweet like stale flowers. Apartment 3B wasn't much, but it was mine. Cheap rent, no roommates, a view of an alley and a brick wall. The landlord, Mr. Haskins, had handed me a ring of keys and said, a little too quickly, if you hear anything at night, it's just the building settling. I laughed then. Everyone says that about old buildings. The closet was the first thing I noticed. Not because it was big, but because it was wrong. It was in the living room, a narrow door set into the wall between the window and the kitchenette, painted the same eggshell white as everything else. The handle was newer than the rest of the hardware, a shiny brushed nickel that didn't fit the building's battered brass. When I opened it, the air that rolled out wasn't stale. It was cold, like opening a refrigerator. The inside was empty except for a single hook and a shelf. No rod, no scuffs from hangers, no old nails. It looked unused. I shut it and tried not to think about it. That night I lay on my mattress on the floor because my bed frame hadn't arrived yet. The alley below hissed with occasional tires on wet pavement. A window unit in the next building rattled. Somewhere, someone's TV murmured. Then, at 2:17 a.m., I heard myself. Not a memory of myself, not my thoughts. My actual voice, clear as if someone were standing beside my head, said, "Evan?" I sat up so fast my neck popped. The room was dim with streetlight. I held my breath and listened. Silence, except for the low hum of my own refrigerator. A minute passed. Then the closet door creaked, the softest movements, like someone putting a fingertip to the edge and testing it. My skin went tight. I got up and crossed the room, keeping my steps slow. The closet door was still closed. The handle was cold under my palm. I yanked it open. Nothing, just that cold air and the empty shelf and hook. No draft from behind it, no second door, no attic access, no vent big enough for a person to whisper through. I shut it and told myself I was overreacting. Buildings make noises. Your mind plays tricks when you're alone in a new place. The next morning, I asked my upstairs neighbor, a woman named Marisol who smoked on the landing and kept a tiny dog in a sweater, if she'd heard anything weird. Weird like what? She asked, eyes half-lidded, already braced for drama. Like voices, furry the walls. She exhaled smoke and shrugged. Walls are thin. People talk. People fight. People do their stuff. It sounded like me, I said before I could stop myself. Marisol's expression changed just a little. Not fear. Something closer to recognition. Don't answer, she said, and flicked ash into a potted plant that was mostly dead. If you hear it, don't answer it. Then she turned and went back inside, dog nails clicking on the floor. I stood there on the landing with my keys in my hand, the metal suddenly heavy. That day I tried to make the apartment feel normal. I set up my laptop on a folding table. I unpacked dishes, hung a shower curtain, arranged my books. I even bought a cheap rug to cover the worn hardwood. Every time I looked at the closet, I felt like I was looking at a person pretending to be furniture. That night I turned on a podcast for background noise and fell asleep with the lights on. At 3:04 a.m. my voice came again. This time it wasn't my name. It was a sentence. Come here. I need you. It came from inside the closet. My eyes snapped open. The podcast had ended hours ago. The room was quiet enough that I could hear my own breathing and the faint tick of the radiator. The closet door was open. Not wide, just enough to show a wedge of darkness deeper than the room's shadows. I didn't remember opening it. I was sure I hadn't. I lay there, frozen, staring at the black gap. The cold air spilled out in a steady stream, raising goosebumps on my arms. My voice spoke again, softer now, like someone trying not to wake a sleeping child. "Oh, please." Something about the way it said please made my stomach turn. It sounded like me trying to imitate myself. I forced myself to sit up. My feet touched the floor and the wood felt damp, as if it had been breathed on. I reached for my phone, but it was on the table across the room. The closet door moved a fraction more, opening with a slow, patient creak. I did the only thing I could think of that felt remotely sane. I spoke to it. "Who's there?" My voice came out rough. The air in the room seemed to pause. Then, from the closet, my voice answered with perfect timing, matching my tone exactly. "Who's there?" A cold wave rolled through me. I stood and backed away until I hit the kitchenette counter. "Stop," I whispered. "Stop." It echoed. I grabbed my phone and ran into the hallway in my socks, not even bothering to lock my door. I pounded on Marisol's door until her dog started barking and she shouted, "What?" when she opened it. I must have looked insane. She took one look at my face and stepped aside. Her apartment smelled like cigarettes and laundry detergent. A single lamp lit the room. She didn't offer me a seat. "It did it again," I said. "It talked. It copied me." The closet was open. Marisol's jaw worked like she was chewing something she didn't want to swallow. "My cousin lived in 3B, she said finally. "Before you. He left in the middle of the night. Didn't pack. Just left." "What?" She shook her head. "He said the apartment learned him. That's what he said. Like it was practicing." "That's not." She lifted a hand. "Listen, there's a thing in this building, or in that unit, I don't know, but it wants you to talk to it. The more you talk, the more it has." I stared at her. "What does it do?" Marisol's eyes flicked toward her own closet door, as if checking it was still closed. "It tries to get out," she said. I laughed, a short, disbelieving sound. "Out where?" "Out of there," she said, pointing down through the floor. "And into you." I left her apartment more shaken than when I'd entered. I told myself she was superstitious, that her cousin had a mental break, that the building had a prankster with a speaker hidden somewhere. But when I went back into 3B, the air felt different. The temperature was lower. My rug near the closet was wet, like like someone had set an ice pack on it. The closet door was closed again. I didn't sleep. I sat on the couch with all the lights on, watching the closet like a guard watching a cell. At 4:11 a.m. there was a knock. Not at my front door, from inside the closet. 3 soft taps, spaced evenly, like someone asking permission. I clenched my fists so hard my nails bit my palms. I didn't respond. I didn't move. Another 3 taps. Then my voice, barely audible, whispered from the crack under the closet door. I can do it better now. The next day I called Mr. Haskins. I told him about the cold closet, the noises, the voice. I expected him to laugh or offer to send a maintenance guy. He went silent. Then he said, "Are you talking back to it?" Don't, he said, voice tight. Just don't. Keep it shut. Put something in front of it if you have to. Huma, I know the building, he said, and then he hung up. That was the moment my denial cracked. When even the landlord wouldn't pretend. I did what he said. I dragged my heaviest boxes over and stacked them in front of the closet. Books, dishes, the box with my winter coats. I wedged a chair under the handle like a barricade. For 2 days, nothing happened. The apartment warmed up. The air felt normal. I started to think maybe fear had fed on itself and burned out. On the 3rd night, I was brushing my teeth when I heard my phone ring in the living room. I walked out with toothpaste foam still in my mouth and saw my phone vibrating on the table. The screen showed an incoming call. The name on it was mine, Evan Mercer, my own number. For a few seconds I couldn't move. My throat tightened. The phone kept buzzing, patient, relentless. I didn't answer. I watched it ring until it stopped. A second later, a new notification appeared. Voicemail 1. My hands shook as I hit play. Static at first, then my own breathing, too close to the microphone. Then my voice, calm and intimate, as if speaking into someone's ear. I'm in here. I can hear you walking. You don't have to be afraid. Abu. There was a pause, and then a faint sound behind the words, wood creaking, a chair scraping, something shifting weight. My mouth went dry. The voicemail continued. Move the boxes. My eyes snapped to the closet barricade. The boxes were trembling. Not falling, not sliding. Trembling, as if something behind the door was pressing against the wall in slow, steady pulses. I backed away, phone still in my hand, and bumped into the counter. The chair wedged under the handle rattled. A soft laugh came through the voicemail speaker. It was my laugh. I learned you, the voice said. Now let me show you. The closet door handle began to turn. The chair resisted, squealing against the floor. The boxes shuddered harder. The sound wasn't violent. It was controlled, like someone strong enough to take their time. I ran to the front door and yanked it open. The hallway was empty. The light over the stairwell flickered, buzzing. For a second, I felt relief. Then I saw the door across the hall. Apartment 3A. Its peephole was missing, leaving a dark hole. And from that hole, my voice said, very softly, "Where are you going?" I slammed my door, locked it, and stumbled back, heart hammering. I didn't understand. How could it be across the hall? How could it be on my phone? In my closet? The closet stopped shaking. Silence settled, thick and waiting. My phone buzzed again. Incoming call. Evan Mercer. This time, before I could think, I threw the phone onto the couch like it was hot. It bounced and landed screen up. The call kept ringing, and then, without being answered, the speaker turned on. My voice filled the room. "Okay," it said gently. "We'll do it the other way." The bathroom light clicked off. Then the kitchen light. Then the living room lamp. One by one, the apartment went dark as if someone were flipping switches in a careful sequence. I stood in the center of the room, swallowed by shadow, and the only light left was the glow of my phone screen. The closet door made a small sound, not a creak, a sigh, like it had been holding its breath. In the dim, I saw the chair that had been wedged under the closet handle slide away on its own, inch by inch, as if pulled by an invisible hand. The boxes shifted, not pushed outward, but drawn inward, settling closer to the door. And then the closet door opened, not outward, inward. It opened into a darkness that didn't belong to my apartment. The space inside looked deeper than the wall should allow, like the inside of a throat. Cold air poured out, carrying a smell like wet earth and old paper. My phone screen brightened, and on it, my own face appeared. Not a camera app, not a selfie, a live video. Me, standing in my living room, exactly where I was standing now. But in the video, I wasn't holding my phone. In the video, I was facing the closet, smiling. I tried to move, and the me on the screen moved half a second too late, like a bad connection. Then the me on the screen turned its head toward the camera toward me, and its smile widened. From the open closet, my voice spoke one last time, no longer pretending to be gentle. "You already taught me how to be you," it said. "Now you can stay here and teach me how to live." The phone screen went black. Behind me, my front door unlocked with a soft click, and in the darkness, I heard footsteps in the hallway approaching my door at the exact pace of my own heartbeat.